Hello guys, welcome to another video. My name is Dario, I'm a filmmaker all the way from Belgium, and today I'm gonna teach you 6 mistakes to avoid as a freelance filmmaker. Now before we get into it, let's address the elephant in the room, or in this case, let's address the room. I've made a little bit of a setup here. Feel free to leave a comment down below and share what you think about this new setup. It's a new thing I'm trying. Maybe it's a reoccurring thing. But anyways, without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. 1. Don't negotiate your price, negotiate the project. Now what do I mean with this? I mean that you should have a fixed day rate, a fixed half-day rate. Same for editing, you should have a fixed rate. I wouldn't really do half days there, like just a fixed day rate for editing and a fixed rate for pre-production. Then if you're negotiating a price with a client, if your proposal doesn't fit in the budget of your client, then you can negotiate the project. Maybe you can scale down the project rather than scaling down your rates. This will ensure that you put the same amount of focus on all of the projects, especially if you have multiple projects running at the same time. So in general, it's a good rule of thumb. Just negotiate the project. If it's not possible for a potential client to pay the amount of money that you would be charging, offer them a scaled down version of the project that they wish. Or what you can do is also the second tip of today, and this is outsource what you can do yourself. Yeah, let's say you know a couple more people who are also freelance filmmakers or interested in starting a business. Maybe you guys can start a business together, or each start your own business and just help each other. But let's say you have a potential client, but if you would take their project, your price would be too high for them to be able to pay you. A thing you can do is outsource it to somebody who you know that would do it for a lower price than yourself and still might do a good enough job for the client to be satisfied with the end result. Then you can just take a cut of the price. Let's say their budget is 1,500 euros for a small Instagram commercial or social media commercial for, let's say, a local grocery store. They just want a 30-second clip, and you know a friend that would shoot it for $1,000, and the client is willing to pay up to 1,500 euros, then you can just pay a freelance videographer that 1,000 euros. He or she will be very happy to take this project, as this is their usual rate, and you can take a cut of $500 just by outsourcing the project. Easy as that. Number 3, charge your gear. Now, this is something which kind of feels strange in the beginning, but one of the first things you should do when you start as a freelance filmmaker is make an Excel sheet of all of the equipment you have, from cameras to lenses, tripods, lights, ND filters, drones, whatever it is that you guys have. You just make one big Excel file and you put a day rate on each part of equipment that you could use for a potential shoot. And this way you can easily calculate how much you should charge for your equipment for a potential shoot, because then you just see, I need this camera, I need this lens, and maybe one continuous light, let's say, and you add all of these up, and then you have your day rate for the equipment for that shoot. Now you can also attach this list of the equipment you will be taking for this shoot in your invoice, so your client also gets an overview of what equipment will be used. If you have no clue how much to charge for your equipment, I recommend looking for a gear rental company in your location. If you're from Belgium, I highly recommend checking out Ostron. It's one I oftentimes use for professional shoots. If I need some additional equipment that I don't have myself, I go rent it over there. If you are living in a different country, just do your own research, find a local shop that rents gear. Now they usually have all of their prices and their day rates on their website. Now of course these businesses profit just from renting equipment, so you'll probably want to have a slightly lower price than what they advertise on their website. But just to give you an idea of how much you are able to charge for your equipment, just have a look at a different rental company and then, I don't know, lower it by 30% or something like this, 50%, whatever you feel comfortable with. Number 4, always ask for an advance. Now for the people who watched my recent 2 videos, I'll link them up here. I'm not sure, not good at this YouTube stuff. I'll link them up here. I recently made a video about a client who was 5 months late with making a payment, and ever since I have learned not to take projects anymore when clients are not willing to make an advance payment after an invoice, an agreed invoice has been set up. Always ask for an advance. I myself ask up to 50% of the total budget as an advance. Why? Because this is something you can reinvest into the project. Maybe you can hire a freelancer, maybe partly outsource it with the money you get of this advance. You can rent better equipment, you can maybe rent a studio. Depending on the shoot, you can use this advance to lift up the production quality and make sure that the client also gets a better end result, so everybody wins. Number 5 is set up a contract. This is something I highly recommend, and I can't stress enough how important it is. First of all, you want to have some general terms and conditions with general rules that will apply to all of your projects. You can find many templates online that you can base yours off, but you basically want to include things like what happens when equipment gets stolen on the location of a shoot, or maybe you also hire actors and their phone gets stolen or something like this. You want to handle stuff like this in your terms and condition. What else do you want to put in there? If a client is supposed to provide you with food and beverages, if you're doing long shooting days, if you're doing 12-hour shooting days, make sure in your terms and conditions it also states that you need breaks to drink something. In this contract you will also go more specifically and actually describe what the client expects from you, when the final project will be delivered, when the shoot will take place. You just want a detailed description of all the things that will be going into the shoot, and just have it black and white, and make sure that your client also signs it with a signature. This way you can always refer back to it just in case when things do go wrong. Plus it also makes you come across way more professional and more as a business rather than just a creative filmmaker or a freelancer. And you might even attract bigger clients this way. And then the last one, number 6, never charge more than what the client signed up for. If for one reason or another it happens, you're starting out, you're fresh to this world, and there comes some unexpected costs for one reason or another into a shoot. Maybe you underestimated the amount of time you would be editing on a certain project or something like this. If it's a mistake that you have made, of course, let's be clear, if it's a mistake that's because of you, that you miscalculated the project or underestimated the cost of certain things, don't charge this through to the client. I would say take the cut, because you do want the client to be happy, and they might actually advise other companies to hire you just because you worked with them. So if you made a mistake, just swallow the hard pill. Take your lessons from it, of course. Don't make the same mistake multiple times, but just take note of it, that next time you will be approaching these kind of projects differently. Especially when you're starting out, it's quite hard to estimate how much time everything takes. But I would say see it as an experience, gain more knowledge of the field, learn how to make proper estimations, and in the long run you will take profits from it. You will become a better filmmaker, a better freelancer, and you don't want to damage the name of your company. So that's it. Let's go one more time through the tips. Number 1, don't negotiate your price, negotiate the project. Number 2, outsource what you can do yourself. 3, charge for your gear, very important. 4, always ask for an advance. Number 5, set up a contract and make sure it's signed. And of course, number 6, never charge more than what the client signed up for. Ladies and gentlemen, this was it for today's video. I hope there is something you could take away from my 6 tips. I wish you all a very pleasant day. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Furthermore, I would say go check me out on Instagram. And then there's only one more thing to say, ladies and gentlemen, and this is of course, and as always, ciao ciao, bye bye.